the gate to the home temple. It was originally built in 1917, which is why there's Chinese characters on it. Now, on the top of the gate, you can see a dragon. Now, a dragon is the Vietnamese's most sacred animal, and so that's why it sits at the top of the gate. On the two sides, you can see lions with dragon heads, and now these are fantasy animals, and these kinds of animals represent the space between the living and the dead. Now, at the very top, you'll see the Chinese characters. That says the way to home temple is still very far. Now, between the scary generals, the warning, and the fire-breathing dragons, it's not too encouraging, but I think I'm going to take my chances.
The lower temple is the first stop on the way up the home mountain. It is a spot believed to be where Oku laid her 100 eggs. This temple was rebuilt on the old foundation from the 17th and 18th century.
All right, so now we find ourselves at Madzang, here at the lower temple. Madzang also means dragon eyes. Now, this is the place where it's said that Oku gave birth to 100 sons when she laid 100 eggs. And this well that we see right here is where it's said that she first bathed her sons. Now, this place means a lot to the Vietnamese because it very literally is the birthplace of a nation.
Now, these legends are taught to Vietnamese children from a young age. Asking this child what the site means to her, she recounted to me the legend of Oku word for word. She told me that the home temple is the homeland of Vietnam, and they must be proud. She says, "We are the children of the offspring of the dragon and the fairies. We must be proud of this." As a foreigner visiting this site, I was overwhelmed with the welcome I received, particularly from the children. Everywhere we went, I couldn't avoid the swarms of children eager to welcome me and practice a few words of English. I'm told that there is a huge difference in attitudes towards foreigners between generations. While older generations are more shy, these children are overwhelmingly curious about foreigners. At the lower temple site, there is also a pagoda. The Tien Quang Tien Tu Pagoda pays tribute to various Buddhas. Worshippers come, and depending on what they're wishing for, they'll direct their prayers to the Buddha that serves a specific function. The female Buddha has 100 arms and 1,000 eyes. The 1,000 eyes are used to see everything around, especially people's hardship. She uses her 100 hands to help different people in need. Don't be afraid of this scary-looking Buddha. He's just looking after the area and preserving the temples and the pagoda. When it comes to devotion to the religion, there's no competing with this guy. He had to overcome 83 obstacles in his lifetime. Obstacles of resisting the temptation of many beautiful women. These Buddhas are believed to have been living people who led exemplary lives to become Buddhas in their death. This woman, Kwan Am Thi King, for example, was wrongfully accused, first for beheading her husband, and then she was accused of being a man, after one woman claimed that she was the father of her child. Now upon her death, they realized she was a woman and saw that they were mistaken. You'll see sitting on her shoulder is a parrot. This is her husband, who gets to sit at the same level of her since they were married. She stands here to represent that people should steer away from wrongdoing. If you're looking to buy some property, then you should probably make this Buddha a visit. In his lifetime, he was a very rich man, but he gave up his land, spreading it out amongst the people. In his death, he became the deity governing all the land. Next on our way up the mountain is the Chong Temple. According to legends, this is where the king built a house as a place to rest and to hold political meetings. Many people come here to wish for prosperity in their education and their career.
All right, so here we are. We are at the Middle Temple site. Now this is the oldest temple on the ground here. It was built in the 13th century, and people come here to pray for prosperity, success in their careers, as well as a good education. Now this is a very special site because this is where it's believed that King Hom would come with his military generals and they would discuss the nation's affairs. It's also this place where it's believed that the king advocated in favor of Leng Leum. Now that whole story has everything to do with one very special Vietnamese dish.
Legend has it that 1,000 years ago, at the time of the 6th Hom King, after squashing the An invader, the king wanted to abdicate in favor of one of his sons. He called on all of his sons and told them that whoever would find the most delicious and meaningful dish for an upcoming banquet to worship the ancestors would be the next king. Now his son Thiet Le had a dream of a genie who came to him and said that in life nothing was as precious as rice, since rice is the food that keeps their people alive. The genie told him he could use glutinous rice to make round cake as a symbol for the moon and square cake for a symbol of the earth. Now this is before anyone could have imagined the earth was round, even genies. The genie then told him to put pork and green bean paste in the rice and cover them with green leaves to symbolize the loving care of parents. With a crown at stake, all the princes showed up to the feast with a marvelous array of exotic dishes, while Thiet Yu came with his relatively simple chung cake and day cake. His father tried the dish, liked it enough, and with Thiet's explanation, he easily won the crown. The dilemma was fixed without spilling one drop of blood. Since then, you'll notice every Tet holiday, Vietnamese people make chung cake and day cake as a worship food to remember their ancestors.
All right, well there we go. Now we know all about the Bat Chang cake. Now we're heading off to the height of the mountain to check out what's on top.
The Tuong Temple is exclusively used for the kings to have offerings to the Sun God, the Earth God, the Rice God, and Saint Zong. Saint Zong is a legendary hero who defeated the An invaders of the ancient Chinese dynasty. Also on the site is a stone pillar erected by Tuc Phan, a general, as a symbol of his pledge to take care of the temple and the Hom family inheritance. Also on this site is a stone pillar erected by Tuc Phan, a general, as a symbol of his pledge to take care of the temple and the Hom family inheritance.
Now I ring this bell to call back the 6th Hom King. Now it's believed, upon defeating the An invaders, that the king took off his clothes, hung it on a tree, and then died in this very spot. Now before he died, he asked his son that he be remembered here on the top of the mountain.